Technology is the way of the future, and it is all around us. It has many positives that help us in our daily lives, but also has many negatives that make it useless in some way. Technology can practically control us, and it does without hesitation. And just with the push of a button, we can spend hours on end scrolling through content without ever getting tired of it. Do you really think this is healthy? And since technology is all around us, how are we even meant to control it or evade it as a starter? First of all, we need to create a balance between technology and us. Otherwise, what I'm about to say can and will happen to you. I would assume that you all use your phones, right? Assuming that you have phones. Then I would also say that you'd be spending 17 years of your whole life just using your phones. Which is what Georgia Dixon from Views.org has proved with her statistics and surveys as shown on the board right now. Can you believe it? How many years of your life do you spend using your iPads, your computers, or your video game consoles? What would you do with those extra 17 years of your life instead of using technology? Would you spend it with friends, family, sports, studies, or something else? Electronic screens constantly scream at us. Use me, touch me, swipe. They constantly tempt us to use them. It's like an infection. They infect us to use them more and more. As this happens, an addiction can start to form, and with a blink of an eye, we can't get off. We are glued to the screens. Whether it is for school, homework, office work, video games, Netflix, State of Origin, soccer, the Olympics, or your favorite TV show, we always have an excuse to use technology. It's like a trap that is set, and we fall right into it without realizing it. The reason that we are addicted to our screens is because of the algorithm. The algorithm is programmed to keep us using our electronic devices at all costs, for whatever reason. The documentary The Social Dilemma highlights how personal data is harvested by different platforms to target us with ads that keep us using our electronic devices for long periods of time. But technology also has many other negative effects, such as showing us news articles, images, or videos that may be personal or trigger you to feel a certain emotion, such as fear, sadness, or anger. For example, according to the Psychiatry Quarterly study, 32% of girls in the UK suffered from depression through social media use in 2019. And the GMAC study indicates that now, during COVID-19 in the USA, 44% of children and teens spend more than 4 hours daily using their electronic devices. Now let's say those 44% of children and teens are just spending 4 hours daily just using their phones. That tallies up to 28 hours a week. So they're basically spending more than one whole day using their phones non-stop. But technology has many positive effects, such as during the COVID-19 pandemic, being able to communicate with friends and family via Zoom, Teams, and other platforms, writing and submitting assignments online, and conducting research. Are you one of those people who stay up all night long using technology to complete an assignment, study for an upcoming exam, or send off that report, which is due next day, which you haven't even started? Or are you one of those people who stay up all night long using technology for something else, such as video games or trying to get to bed? It's perfectly okay if you do this once in a while, but if you do this consecutively, night after night, then there are many issues which will start to form, which will impact your day-to-day life. For starters, by staying up late, you experience a lack of sleep, in which by doing so, over and over again, lack of sleep can impact your learning quality and your sport which you play, as you won't be able to function at 100%. By staying up late using technology, the harder it is to concentrate, meaning that you can't keep on top of your posture. By not using the correct posture can lead to eye strain, back pains, and cramps. One way to avoid this is to make sure that you aren't hunching over your screen or holding your screen too close to your eyes. Otherwise, you'll end up with a hunchback like Eagle and the eyesight of Velma without her glasses on from Scooby-Doo. Overall, if you notice that you can't keep on top of your posture, then go to sleep and don't use your electronic device until you know that you can pay attention to your posture. And lastly, by staying up late using technology, the easier it is for you to get sidetracked. For example, if you're writing a report and you need to access a news article, you will then read that news article and another article will capture your attention, which you will then go and read. Then another article, and then you'll get sidetracked by another article, and so on. So you'll be going from something random, like scientists kill ducks to find out why they're dying, to safety meeting ends in accident, to federal agents raid gun shop. They find weapons to something else. So by the time you come back to what you're doing, if you're very off topic, then by the time you come back to what you're doing, you won't have enough energy or concentration to complete your task, or you'll still be thinking about what you've just read. According to Tristan Harris, a former design ethicist at Google, it can take up to 20 minutes to return to what you were doing originally. Keep this in mind. But people also stay up late using technology for other reasons, such as to get to bed. I know somebody who uses their electronic devices after their parents have gone to bed as a way to try and relax and get to sleep. But this doesn't always work. And when it doesn't work, it can have disastrous consequences, such as making you become addicted to technology and giving technology complete control over you to the point that it causes unnecessary urges and temptations to use the electronic device. These temptations can lead you to staying up later than necessary. Some frightful consequences which I noticed happened to this person was that they started to forget to pack a sufficient amount of food for school, and they couldn't complete their homework, assignments, or study for upcoming exams, which had an immense impact on their grades and daily life. This addiction to technology also affected them emotionally just as much as physically and mentally. According to Providence, a 2017 study from the Journal of Child Development found that smartphones can cause sleep problems in teens, which led to depression, anxiety, and acting out. Smartphones can cause sleep problems in teens because of the blue light they create. This blue light can suppress melatonin, a hormone that helps control your sleep cycle. So we start having sleep problems due to lack of sleep, caused by overusing technology late into the night, including video games, can cause us to feel depressed. But as I just mentioned, it is possible to stay up late playing video games, which I'm sure most of you do. Studies have found that video games can be more harmful to your health than cigarettes or alcohol. Keep this in mind. According to the Canary government in October 2002, an issue of Computer Game Magazine in Japan reported that people playing violent video games for large amounts of time experienced a decline in brain activity that is associated with reasoning, planning, and self-control. If you don't have self-control, then you can't control how long you stay on technology for or when to go to bed. It also makes it easier for addictions and tech dependence to begin. According to Newport Academy, this addiction to technology can affect your daily life by making you more inclined to loss of interest in offline activities that were previously enjoyed, lying to family members or others about the time spent using an electronic device, or using technology to self-medicate negative moods, such as fear, such as guilt, anxiety, or hopelessness. But what if overuse of technology is what causes these negative moods in the first place? Even though it says that you can self-medicate yourself using technology, technology is usually what causes these emotions in the first place. Through using technology as self-medication, you're basically just instilling those emotions all over again, or making you forget about those feelings. Furthermore, by using technology so often, may cause you to become tech dependent. Newport Academy also lists 3 signs of tech dependence: preoccupation with social media, video games, or other digital activities, sadness, restlessness, anxiety, and/or irritability when separated from a digital device or deprived of internet access, and the inability to reduce time spent using technology despite problems caused by it. Now, some ways to evade all of this which I've just mentioned is to first of all move all electronic devices out of your room so that the temptation isn't as big. Another way is to make sure that you aren't using any electronic device 30 to 60 minutes before going to bed. This ensures that you aren't getting sidetracked by the device and staying up later than necessary. By not using any electronic item within the hour before going to bed may cause you to forget about the item and give you the opportunity to get a good night's sleep. If you're using technology during the day, then try to take breaks and do something physical without using technology, and maybe instead interact with a person face to face and not over a screen. But there are many ways to relax before going to bed, and this includes meditating as well. Some teenagers may not like to do meditations, but they help immensely when trying to relax or even when trying to get to sleep, and different studies including Sleep Foundation have shown this. An alternative way of relaxing before going to bed is to do something creative or something that you enjoy doing, such as drawing or reading. But the best way to avoid overuse of technology, staying up late using technology, and other things related to using technology is to set boundaries. Be creative and have some fun with it. Create your own different boundaries, search some up, or use ones which I provided. But make sure that the boundary does help you in some positive way and not a negative way. Now, all of this which I've just mentioned can happen to anybody, including adults. So make sure that you, the adults, follow what I've said and make sure that you set some boundaries for yourself as well. Now, before I end, let me ask you all a question. The world has to know great sacrifice before knowing great change. Hasn't the world already seen the great sacrifice that we have to give because of technology, such as spending 17 years of your life just using your phones? If you think it is a yes, then isn't it time for great change? Don't let technology control you. Control technology instead. Thank you.